All you can do is just tell the truth and trust in the American people that over time they're going to know what the truth is.
Yes, it is time for the truth. Right here, right now. This is the Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives. With your host, John Matthews.
The latter-day prophet.
Vying against the hypocrisies of our time.
And Joe Hakos.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
The Conservative Syndicate is comprised of some of the most informed pundits and activists available today. Together, we seek to tear down the imaginary wall, a separation between church and state through education, information, and engagement on the religion of politics and the politics of religion. And now, your host on the globally syndicated Conservative Syndicate, John Matthews and Joe Hakos.
Hey, welcome everybody out there in Radio Land and the internet and throughout the world. This is the Conservative Syndicate. I am Joe Hakos. I am flying solo right now. John Matthews, the mad prophet, is out doing some family business right now. So it is it's just exciting for me to go ahead and jump in here and see if I can't handle this massive undertaking by myself. I don't know. We'll see if we can get this thing done today. John might make it back. He said he would, but as John is out there in the California, greater Los Angeles area, traffic there is just it's like its own contact sport. So he might not be able to make it back. If he does, he does. He said he was going to try, and we can only hope that whatever he's got to do, he can go ahead and do it. Remember, we here at the Conservative Syndicate, we seek to tear down the wall, that imaginary wall that they have out there, the separation between church and state. And we are going to do that through education, information, engagement. And we're going to do that with those who seek uncompromising truth regarding the religion of politics and the politics of religion. So welcome to have you here today. Let's see. I wanted to try to keep the format somewhat consistent, how John likes to do it. And so I even came up with a semi kind of agenda. Now, if and obviously, glad you're here. And if you've heard me talk before, and if you go to my the Dryer Report, it's just a random thoughts rolling through the brain for me anyway. So doing an agenda is kind of like, wow, that's kind of something new. But we'll see what happens here. Here's what I wrote down as an agenda today. Some of the things we might talk about. Oh, and Karen Sigmund is supposed to stop by today, maybe in about half hour, 45 minutes from now. Again, Karen is dealing with that traffic out there, and so she's going to do her best to make it here. And I don't quite have any insights as to what Karen plans on providing for us. Might have something to do with the Republican and Democrat primaries. This is, Monday was the kickoff of primary election season. Yeah, so, the primaries are going on. The Iowans can call them caucuses, but it's a primary, especially on the Democrats, and that the Bernie and Hillary and that bunch, that cabal. Oh my, wow! They have a lot of gumption to talk about. We talk about issues. Yeah, okay. Well, at least the Republicans actually vote and actually count the votes, and not try to decide things by coin flips and coin tosses. That whole wow, what a fiasco. Wow. Anyway, I was going to talk. I might talk about. I was going to try to maybe talk about in this new age of Obama and his vision on the military, what it be, there's talk out there that they're going to have women register for the draft. As selective service, men in this country, when they turn 18, have to at least go down and sign up for selective service. And you have to do that. If you don't do that as a young man, you're not going to be allowed to vote. There's a lot of things you're not allowed to do because you didn't sign up. So there's talk now that women are supposed to, Ash Carter decided in December that all women were going to be able to be included in all jobs, combat-related jobs, all across the board. So now there's talk out there where it might require women to be registered for selective service. So we might get to that today. Some of the other news today with this election season, we've had some candidates drop out. And that's what Iowa is probably best known for, is winnowing the field a little bit, and that's what's happened now. We've had Mr. Huckabee, former governor of Arkansas. He dropped out the other day. A couple of these are a little bit curious. Let's say curious. A couple of these what could happen here. Rand Paul has decided to suspend the campaign, drop out of the presidential race. He's going to focus on trying to continue to be a senator for the great state of Kentucky. So, which is really, it's kind of, the Huckabee thing didn't bother me too much. It's kind of sad to see Rand Paul leave because a lot of his policies I can agree with. There's some of his positions I don't, but I do like the libertarian and the constitutional bent that Mr. Paul has on everything. And if we could get more in tune with that, in general, as a people, we'd be much better off. We get so used to having the government overstep its bounds, and we just let it happen anymore. We just don't even think twice about it happening, which is really sad. And Rick Santorum, I don't know if he's done it. I know there's reports he is scheduled. He's going to make a couple announcements tonight. Rick Santorum, good man, again, a good man that scheduled. He is going to drop out of the race, and he's also supposed to endorse somebody. So we'll have to see how that goes. That seems to be a little curious. The Huckabee and Santorum thing be a little curious to me, as they were at they went to their debates on in Iowa, the last debate there, and then they showed up at the Trump event, and it's kind of curious, if anything, the last 8 years has done to me, it's made me much more cynical about these people and their motives. It really has. Wow. That's probably a sad statement on me, but it is, and so I'm just kind of curious about that. Also, might maybe do a little thing about the is conservatism dead? Some people say yeah. I know the Democrats would like to see it die. Yeah, okay, so that's it. Also, maybe we get a little bit of Obamacare. A little bit of some more military news, because there is a budget battle going on for the military, and we'll see how that turns out. It has a wonderful impact on me, as a lot of my friends are still actively serving, and it's one of those things. Maybe we can discuss a little bit about the Marco Rubio insurgency, the way he has surged up the polls, and there's some really, really neat stuff about the Iowa caucus that we can get after the fact. we could talk about that. You know, you have the exit polls and pre-entrance polls and that kind of stuff, and you don't get that data all at one time. And then it takes a while for some of that stuff to come. And it's kind of interesting, some of the things that were happening there, that if you look at the numbers and who did what, who got what vote? What was it? Was it men, women? Was it independents? Was this your first time you voted ever? These kind of things. It's kind of curious. Are you a new voter? Were you something else before? Were you a ship-shaping, lizard kind of gill-breathing kind of individual, or did you just come to Iowa just to do this, or like supposedly the sticker guy did that John was talking about, that was behind Hillary Clinton and her thing? It's like, dude, really? Okay, fine, whatever, man. Really, we could do that sort of silliness. Talk about Rush Limbaugh going, Marco Rubio is not an establishment kind of guy. Oh, I kind of beg to differ on that, and here. I heard Marco talking today, and I don't quite think so, Rush. He's not, he's no Rand Paul. Oh, I cracked myself up. Anyway, we're coming up here pretty close to having to go to a break here and pay some bills. So it's good to have you folks here. We'll try to keep it maybe a little low-key today. I try not to get real excited. I would promise, I can't promise anything that I won't get real excited, but I will try not to get real excited about it, and try to see if we can't keep you entertained a little bit, and maybe give you some info that you can go out and scare your friends with later on. So this, again, is the Conservative Syndicate. I am Joe Hakos, sitting in solo for my co-host John Matthews, and we got to pay some bills, so we'll be right back after these brief messages from people we'd like to have you go and visit. Please do that. All right, here we go. That's not what we want to do. We want to go to that one. Oh my, technology's just all around me.
You can catch all our archives at theconservativesyndicate.net. The Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-790-5960. That's 1-800-790-5960. Again, 1-800-790-5960. Call now.
Prices are for base buildings only. May not be available in some areas. Attention business owners, do you want a stimulus package that really works? Before you spend thousands of dollars more than you should on your next building project, listen to this. General Steel has a stimulus package designed to help you save as much as half the cost of conventional construction on your next building. As much as half. That's right, General Steel can save you thousands of dollars with a pre-engineered steel building designed for your business or church. How about a 50 by 100 foot building for under $30,000? So don't pay thousands more than you should without calling General Steel first, and save as much as half the cost and time of conventional construction. With the projected demand for steel in Japan and China, prices may be skyrocketing.
877-927-3360. 877-927-3360. 877-927-3360.
You can catch all our archives at theconservativesyndicate.net. The Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives.
Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification required. Cancellation fee, auto pay, and paperless billing and other restrictions apply. If you can't see the difference, why pay the difference? Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Only Dish brings you the best in entertainment for less than $20 a month. Cut the cable and don't get directed. Switch to Dish because at just $19.99, Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. It's so simple. The same channels cost less with Dish. So since you can't see the difference, don't pay the difference. Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Get premium movie channels free for 3 months, starting at just $19.99. Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. Call now to save with Dish. Dial 1-800-600-1645. That's 1-800-600-1645. The same channels for less than $20 a month. Dish. Call 1-800-600-1645 for details.
Attention taxpayers. If you've received a notice from the IRS or state, do not ignore it. It's also a big mistake to try and handle your tax problem on your own. If you owe back taxes, it's a fact that the government has the power to take everything you own, including your home, business, wages, savings, and your freedom. But here's the good news. There's a special toll-free tax hotline set up especially for you. This tax hotline will tell you about new programs that are geared to help you dramatically settle, reduce, or eliminate what you owe. But you have to call now. Take down this number or put it in your cell phone. But call 866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959. When you call, you get free information on how you can reduce or eliminate back taxes, including penalties and interest. You can also be helped if you have unfiled returns, a tax lien, wage garnishment, bank levy, or if you've been entered into a payment plan but can't make the payments. Don't make the big mistake in thinking you can ignore or handle your tax problem on your own. You can stop the collection process immediately. Call this special tax hotline today for free info at 1-866-761-0959. That's 1-866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959.
All right. Welcome back, folks. This is Joe Hakos here, and you're listening to the Conservative Syndicate. Easy for me to say. All right, here flying solo once again, and John Matthews is out on assignment, and so I'm trying to pick up the slack today and make sure that we can keep things rolling along today. Hey, I said that I might get a little bit disjointed, and nothing unusual there for me to wander off into some other zone land here, but one of the stories, I found this story not too long ago, and it's going to be, I think we're going to see more and more about this particular subject in the news. Unfortunately, I think we're going to see more of this. And what it was is, this is from Associated Press, and what caught my eyes because I'm in Florida. And so Florida governor declares Zika emergency. And this is from the AP. Rick Scott declared a health emergency in 4 counties Wednesday, that would be today, after at least 9 cases of the mosquito-borne Zika illness were detected in Florida. Health officials believe all cases are from people who contracted the disease while traveling to affected countries. Quote unquote, from the governor, we have to ensure Florida is prepared to stay ahead of the spread of the Zika virus in our state. We know we must be prepared for the worst even as we hope for the best. Scott signed the order to cover Miami-Dade County, Lee County, Hillsborough County, and Santa Rosa County. That's where all the effective cases were detected. And the Zika virus is something we really don't want to play around. I know we've probably heard a lot of it coming out of Brazil, and which has given us cause because that's where the world will gather, and we will have our Olympic Games this year for this Olympiad, whatever. How many billion Olympiads it's been, I don't know. I've lost track for the modern era for the Olympics anymore. The order allows state agriculture's department to use mosquito spray more in those areas. It also directs the Florida Department of Health to make its own decisions about what's needed from the state and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The Zika virus is linked to brain deformities in babies and is causing concern among public health officials worldwide. The illness is primarily spread through mosquito bites, but investigators have been exploring the possibility it could be sexually transmitted. U.S. health officials say a person in Texas became infected with the Zika through sex, in the first case of the illness being transmitted within like that in the United States. And I believe it's probably the second case worldwide to be transmitted that way. So things are getting excited there. I think we're going to see some more news about that. I think it's going to become even more of a story as let's hope it doesn't spread, but if you're down in the climates where we have mosquitoes, or if you've been traveling to these countries and then you come back to the States, to Florida, Texas now, we could see more cases of this. We've had remember the Ebola, that crisis we had from those people coming back from those African countries. When they were having that. And that's still a bit of a problem over in Africa, even though they've declared it officially to be, it's safer now, but I don't believe it's completely gone there. So, again, there comes the cynic coming out of me again. Let's not believe what the government's telling us. But Governor Rick Scott is trying to be proactive. We've got cases here in Florida, southern part of Florida. So he's, making it so, hey, these folks can do what they need to do to possibly to possibly prevent it from spreading. Oh, that was a good one. That was really easy for me to say. So anyway, just kind of, I thought we might find it. I told you I might skip around a little bit. I know I didn't talk about that on the quote unquote agenda I wrote up, but it's one of those things. It happens to me. Sorry. Let me. There's some other stories here. Let me get over to. It's so far away. I am broadcasting live from the Conservative Syndicate studios in Florida. Thought I'd let you guys know that. Oh yeah. The Rick Santorum. Rick Santorum withdrawal or giving up the ship again. Let's see. This is from our friends over in CNN, and it's pretty much a basic story about it. But again, we're going to get to the curious nature of this here in a second. Former President of Pennsylvania, Senator Rick Santorum, and it is principal to so sources told CNN, and it's been reported on other outlets. So yeah, Rick's going to go out today, probably in less than an hour, if those reports are correct, because it was supposed to be around 7 Eastern, that kind of thing. He's supposed to be making a couple announcements. I don't know. If he's actually doing it right now, he could be out there very soon. He's going to be doing it. But anyway, he's expected to make an announcement Wednesday night, and he will endorse a candidate. That's the curious part. Santorum won the Iowa caucus in 2012. Unfortunately for him, he was not declared the winner until like a week later. So any momentum he might have gotten out of Iowa last time was wasted, and unfortunately, and so that's what all the hubbub was about, with Microsoft coming up with a new app to get all the votes counted correctly, which didn't seem to really matter. They didn't even give a crap about that on the Democrat side. They were going to flip coins, and which is, I wonder if those were Microsoft coins. It's just never mind. The Democrats are just out there. But anyway, he won Iowa the last time, but this time he could not. He just couldn't get any traction there. And it's really kind of sad for Rick. He's a good man. He's the third Republican to drop out after the caucuses on Monday. We had Mike Huckabee, as I already stated earlier. He ended his campaign that night. He said, Mike said, I can see that. But that Rand Paul, again, is suspending his campaign for president, although he is going to continue to run for senator of Kentucky. So there you go. Sources did not say who Santorum would endorse. When asked about a possible endorsement, Marco Rubio, of all people, curious there, huh? Said he hadn't spoken to dear Ricky on Wednesday. I think he's fantastic, Rubio told CNN's Dana Bash. I mean, why would he say anything else? I think Rick is a horrible individual. He should not be allowed to breathe anymore. I mean, come on. Really? No, come on. Rick's a good guy. And unless you're some crazy New York City real estate mogul, no one's normally not going to say anything really crazy and outlandish about a guy dropping out. But you never know. But anyhow, let's see. And now I go on. He, Rick, and this is what the best thing was. He would not abandon his views, which is good. It's not that he was not willing to compromise. He wasn't going to compromise his principles, and that's what people can't seem to get through their head with what's going on. Compromise. Eventually, if you compromise everything, then you won't stand for anything. You have to eventually stand for something. And those on the other side of the aisle from the Republicans never give up on anything. It's either their way or no way. And then they look at you and say, you're not compromising. Well, neither are they. Makes you wonder, don't it? Makes you wonder. So, that's what Rick's doing, and Rand's doing it. I just wonder where the support's going to go. And I think we might be able to glean some of that a little bit later when we talk about the exit polling and some of the other data that's being driven out of the Iowa caucuses. In less than a week, New Hampshire's going to have a regular old primary where people go in and they push a little lever or fill out a little square or do whatever it is they need to do, but they go in a little voting booth and nobody's watching you, and you get to do what you do on a secret ballot, and then supposedly they tally it up and it's all correct. Yeah, that would be nice. And then it's more of a traditional kind of voting process, not like the caucus where they went into a high school gymnasium or a band room or something like that. You get everybody together, they check your ID, see if you're allowed to be there, and then somebody gets up and you all kind of talk about, hey, this is why I support this guy. That's a bit more public. That's a public kind of statement, and a lot of people get uncomfortable doing it. I can understand why. First of all, you're speaking in front of people, which is an unnatural act for a lot of people. I would say probably 90% of the people, when you ask them what's one of the things they fear most, and that is talking in front of people. And it makes you wonder, why am I doing this right now? Why am I talking to all of you? No, well, because for one, I'm kind of used to it. So it's, but it's an unnatural act for most people. And some of the things that came out was, this the first time you've done one of these? Have you been here before? It's kind of curious as to who got those particular votes. So, yeah, we're talking about who came on. And I think, if I hear right, Karen, is that you?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
All right, we have Karen Sigmund on. Actually, I was kind of curious. You're on a little... I didn't know whether you're going to be on now or 15 minutes from now, so I'm glad you made it. Everything okay?
Yes, everything's great. I just have... My window keeps shifting. I'm between lots of things, but if now works for you, now it works for me. It
works for me fine, Karen. We're going to probably go to a break in just a little bit, but hey, how's your day been today?
Terrific. I do great things all day, so cannot complain at all.
Well, you are playing with America's future each and every day.
Oh boy, yes I am, and it's such an unbelievable responsibility, and you see, these kids who already quote know what they know, and know that they're going to be the voters of tomorrow. How already so much of what they know is exactly wrong. Climate change is a huge threat. All that stuff. They're convinced of it. The poor polar bears and all of that. The left does brilliant indoctrination starting very young. These kids don't even question any of that. It's not that they don't understand it or they do understand it, or it's part of who they are now. Things that they know.
Huh.
They know Democrats are good. Free stuff is good. Everything is about fairness, and we all get our turns. And of course, the evil humans are destroying the planet for greed.
Okay. Well, I'm going to be a little unfair to you. We're going to have to be evil and take a commercial break so we can pay some bills.
Yep.
Okay. So, hey, this is Joe Hakos with Karen Sigmund joining us at an unscheduled time. Karen is that awesome. And so we're going to go away. We're going to pay some bills. We'll be right back, and then we'll have Karen back on, and we'll talk about whatever Karen has on her mind. She might have something on her mind. She usually does. So stand by. We'll be right back.
You can catch all our archives at theconservativesyndicate.net. The Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives.
Term life insurance. It can be a powerful way to protect your assets and your family. You work hard to earn and save your money to build a nest egg for the future. Don't let it get wiped out because you didn't plan ahead. Take the time now and make a small investment in $500,000 or more in quality term life insurance. Call the Term Lifeline and let us shop the best companies to give you the lowest rates. We specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. Ask about some of our 10 and 20-year fixed rate plans with guaranteed rates. Call the Term Lifeline right now for your free insurance quote. 800-870-3609. 800-870-3609. You owe it to yourself to protect your family and your assets. Make term life insurance part of that plan. Call the Term Lifeline right now. 800-870-3609. 800-870-3609.
Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live, daily, Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you'll get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decision concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did. You can catch all our archives at theconservativesyndicate.net. The Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives.
Prices are for base buildings only. May not be available in some areas. Attention business owners, do you want a stimulus package that really works? Before you spend thousands of dollars more than you should on your next building project, listen to this. General Steel has a stimulus package designed to help you save as much as half the cost of conventional construction on your next building. As much as half. That's right, General Steel can save you thousands of dollars with a pre-engineered steel building designed for your business or church. How about a 50 by 100 foot building for under $30,000? So don't pay thousands more than you should without calling General Steel first and save as much as half the cost and time of conventional construction. With the projected demand for steel in Japan and China, prices may be skyrocketing.
877-927-3360. 877-927-3360. 877-927-3360.
Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live, daily, Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you'll get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decision concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
read something recently worth thinking about. It's the soldier, not the campus organizer, who's given us freedom to demonstrate. It's the soldier, not the reporter, who's given us freedom of the press. It's the soldier, not the poet, who's given us freedom of speech. It's the soldier who serves under the flag, who defends the protesters' right to burn the flag. Isn't it time now to demonstrate that we support our troops? Were it not for the brave, there'd be no land of the free.
Fred Thompson's message was brought to you by citizensunited.org.
Welcome back. Joe Hayco's here with Karen Sigmund here. We're on the Conservative Syndicate. Glad you could stick around with us and pick us up and everything. So, glad to have you here. All right, Karen. So, you've been at work all day, busily molding our precious future minds. So, what have you got? What have you got for us, Karen?
Well, one of the things that I found particularly interesting 2 days ago or whenever, is it only 2 days? It feels a lifetime ago.
Yeah, it's only 2 days.
Right? It's unbelievable. And it was, what a nail biter for the Democrats, but wasn't it awesome for us? Well, but how it was represented in the news and especially watching the speeches was so instructive to me. It always startles me watching our people versus their people.
Okay.
And ours were, obviously, I think that what our people say is the truth, because that's why I'm on the side that I'm on, because I believe that they tell the truth. And I've been somebody who, not because I believe that they're infallible and what they say is therefore the truth, but free markets are what works. Smaller government is what works. We are the most exceptional nation on earth. We are founded on Judeo-Christian values, and those underpinnings are what make us great. We are the ones with compassion because we expect people. We believe that people should be the agents of their own success and so on. We know climate change is a hoax in order to get more control over our lives. We know that the public school system has destroyed our education, and the more you give to the government, the more they destroy. We know that to give the government, therefore, control or access to our universities is to crush it. We know that government intervention in the marketplace only ever hurts. It makes prices counterintuitively to some go up, not down. Look at what Obamacare has done. Look at what, college tuition is insanely expensive, not because of greedy campuses, but because of unions, because of government money, because of what once was cheap loans being given out to students. It's not evil bankers. This is government loan programs that lure people in, and because government loan programs lure more people in, the prices go up. This is how the market works. So when I listen to our people, and that's even ignoring everything to do with foreign policy. Our people, my people, speak the truth. That's why I'm with them. And what Marco Rubio said was spot on. Everything he said was spot on. What Ted Cruz said was spot on. Some of what Donald Trump said was even correct. But you listen to, just kidding around. You listen to Hillary and her. Did you see her speech?
Yeah, I did.
She looked like a crazy person. Her eyes were crazed.
Yes.
It was scary.
Yes,
and
she wasn't
everything
pleased.
she said is wrong. Everything she said is wrong. It's all wrong. How can any thinking person listen to her and just go, oh, yeah, totally, I'm on her side? I can't... If you think the tiniest bit about anything she said, not to mention how aligning herself with Obama, I mean, for heaven's sake. And then there's this. This made me, I don't know if you watched any of this in real time, but I'm watching Ted Cruz's speech, and everyone cuts away from his speech to her speech. He is the actual winner of the GOP caucus. She's not even declared the winner. She doesn't wait till he's done, struts out, and gives a victory speech. It was mind-boggling.
Yes,
and how the networks didn't call her on this. It's
I was watching.
Unbelievable.
Well, I was watching the Fox. I was almost asleep. I was falling asleep, but I did notice it. And Fox put a split screen on him, but they kept the audio on Cruz, and eventually they just took Clinton off and said, we'll get to that later, which is what should have happened. But yeah, I did notice that. I did notice that. I was like, wow, that's trying to steal some thunder there, Hills. That's pretty awesome. Typical Democrat. Thank you, Hillary. We understand your machine. We know what you are, lady.
Exactly. It was so, let alone stealing his thunder, let alone stepping on him, which utter Democrat tactic, complete Clinton tactic. But the piece that galls me more than that was that she wasn't even the winner.
In fact, I don't think she's the winner now, to be quite honest with you. Bernie Sanders is
iffy now.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, Bernie Sanders is going after. They said they really need to go ahead and get this settled because how do you win by flipping a coin? I mean, what kind of...
It's and they don't report. This is, Democrats and Republicans, right there, the difference. We actually count votes, and we release those numbers. There's transparency. How can you not have a vote count?
Oh, they had a vote count.
But they don't release the numbers.
That's correct.
They don't make those numbers public.
That's correct.
So this is everything that the Democrats, every single thing that they do leaves the opportunity for fraud and cheating. And anytime anybody wants to apply accountability, they scream bloody murder as if you're trying to steal things away. Just as voter ID, all of a sudden you're taking votes away from black people who are somehow too stupid or incapable of getting a driver's license.
Well, Hillary mentioned that in her speech. She mentioned that in her speech. She's going to fight, and we're going to have our voting rights. We're going to have our gay and lesbian rights. We're going to have our potato chip rights. We're going to have all the rights. We're going to go and get them all, and except for the inalienable rights provided to us by our Creator. Those are the ones they don't really care about.
They absolutely don't care. And to all of those, I would add Bernie saying, getting a college education is a right.
Yeah, the same thing Hillary said. She used, I think she somehow got a copy of Bernie's, or she'd been a parrot in Bernie's stump speech, and she just did it, but she did it in a much more high, shrill voice than Bernie does.
Well, both of their voices make me just set my teeth so completely on edge. And that's not only because they're Democrats, because there's some on my side, on our side, whose teeth set me on edge too.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's true.
Yes.
But both of them, her shrillness, her anger, she looks dictatorial up there. She doesn't she like thrust her fist in our faces? She looks like I don't remember what the Marcoses look like exactly, but like that she's from this.
Well, if John was here, he could tell you.
It's bizarre.
Wow, that is an apt description of the Ferdinand and Imelda Marcos. Oh my, John would probably like that one.
But isn't that how she seems? And I remember thinking this watching Democrats, the debates here in California when it was Jerry versus Meg Whitman. Meg Whitman was, talking, and she was enthusiastic and energetic. And Jerry Brown was yelling at us. He makes me feel like he's angry at me. And she makes me feel that way too. Not as a Republican, but just as an audience member, I feel waves of anger from her out of the television at We the People.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And she was angry, very angry.
She was angry, which was well, except she comes out saying, "Thank you, what a huge relief." And I thought, what are you even talking about? You haven't even been declared the winner. Are you saying, thank God I haven't been completely trounced? Thank God I didn't come in third again like last time? Thank God at least Martin O'Malley is secure in that spot, at least today.
Yeah, at least Martin's jumping out. Hey, Karen, we're going to have to do another set of commercials here, but keep in mind there was somebody else that was angry on Monday night, and we should probably talk about that individual. I'll give you a clue who I'm talking about. He's from New York City. Okay, so this is Joe Hakos with Karen Sigmund, and we're here on the Conservative Syndicate. We'll be right back after these couple messages.
You can catch all our archives at theconservativesyndicate.net. The Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-790-5960. That's 1-800-790-5960. Again, 1-800-790-5960. Call now.
Prices are for base buildings only. May not be available in some areas. Attention business owners, do you want a stimulus package that really works? Before you spend thousands of dollars more than you should on your next building project, listen to this. General Steel has a stimulus package designed to help you save as much as half the cost of conventional construction on your next building. As much as half. That's right, General Steel can save you thousands of dollars with a pre-engineered steel building designed for your business or church. How about a 50 by 100 foot building for under $30,000? So don't pay thousands more than you should without calling General Steel first and save as much as half the cost and time of conventional construction. With the projected demand for steel in Japan and China, prices may be skyrocketing.
877-927-3360. 877-927-3360. 877-927-3360.
Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live, daily, Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you'll get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decision concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Okay out there. This is Joe Hakos here on the Conservative Syndicate and trying to work the board and work some crazy kind of magic here. And I got Karen with us still. I still have you, right, Karen? Okay. Do I have anybody?
You got me.
You've got John. Okay. So we got John Matthews here, and we're going to try to see what we can do to get Karen to come back. Karen's on hold. If I Quit Karen off a hold. She's going to go away. So, Karen, if you can hear me, that would be really great. I don't know how we're going to do this. And maybe have Karen call John.
Well, why don't we do this? Let me hang up.
Okay.
And see if Karen comes back, and then just add me to the call.
Oh, let's try to do that.
Okay. All right, I'm hanging up.
All righty. So, Karen. Oh, Karen.
Yes.
Karen. Okay. Karen's here. Karen, we're going to try to do some magic stuff here and see if we can get John on the call. So, that's going to be... Let's see what happens here. See if I can add him. Add to call. No, I don't want none of those people named there. That's crazy talk there. Let me go up to here. Let me see. Let's try that. Let's try that guy. See what happens. Okay, I tried to add Mr. Matthews to the call. Are you there, Mr. Matthews?
Yes, I am.
Whoa! Oh, my goodness. Okay, small victories, people. I'm out of here. Okay, you guys talk amongst yourself. I'm going to go celebrate. Wow. So, John, meet Karen. Karen, meet John. And we were talking about...
Hey, John.
Hey, what's up, dear?
So we were talking about the aftermath of the Iowa caucus. Specifically, we had been talking about how scary Hillary is, but I was going to mention to Karen that somebody else was a little angry that night, and he's from New York.
Huh? Who could that be? Somebody angry from New York.
Yeah.
Does he maybe have what we call New York values?
Yeah, he's a real estate mogul from New York who claims to somehow have went and drank some water in like Iowa and all of a sudden became a conservative.
Huh.
Yeah, you must.
You mean that guy who's on television every now and then?
Yeah, the guy that really hates Fox, but he's on there all the time. That guy.
Yes, he is on. Not only is he on every time, but every time somebody else is on, it's all about him. It's. I've never seen anything like it.
Wow. Yeah, I tell you. So, John.
So I think I figured out what you mean.
Oh, okay. Let's cut to the chase. We're talking about Donald Trump,
Mr. Hotel Guy.
Yes, the hotel mogul, the guy that's going to make America great again. He's not going to ever tell us how, and he wants you to go to his website to read about how. But you know what? I've already noticed that, sometimes you can get people to write stuff down on a webpage that might not be true.
Huh. Like,
Go ahead.
Really?
Well, what do you think, John? Karen's taken aback.
That, everybody was making such a big deal about how graciously Donald Trump conceded Iowa. And I'm in the back of my mind going, okay, so you mellowed him out for about 24 hours, and now he's coming back with that same fervor. He's posting a tweet out there. In fact, he hit like 5 or 6 tweets. I was looking at him when I was sitting down at the doctor's office, and I'm looking at these things, and I'm thinking, if people think this is graciousness, then it fits right in with all the other deconstructionist attitudes and narratives that we have now, that everybody can be whatever they want to be. I've been carrying on a dialogue all day with some of my liberal people out there, and completely disregarding what happened as far as the Democrats go. Everybody wants to make a big deal about the fact that Cruz stole the caucus from Trump, and I'm like, okay. And then Trump, tweets out there that Ted Cruz won the caucus illegally. Now that's a double-sided coin there. He used the word illegally, of course, to
yes, he did.
That Cruz is not a real citizen. He was taking a slight, a double shot here. And then he apparently, from what they reported, was he then deleted that tweet and took the word illegally out. But he's basically saying that Ted Cruz stole the election by this thing with Ben Carson, sending out the bad flyers. He's out there making excuses that, well, they told me I wasn't going to win that well, do that well here, so I didn't spend as much money. And I'm thinking, well, then why are you out there every single day telling everybody that you're the only thing? You're the show. And now you're telling us that you're not the show. And then because you figured you're not the show, you didn't spend as much money as you should have. This guy's got all he's got this. Him and Barack Obama could interchange their skins. That's how thin they are. You know what? You lost. Bernie Sanders came out. You heard him squeak a little bit. Yeah, we got some questions about Hillary winning 6 coin tosses. And then he turns around the next day and goes, oh, well, let's move on. And he's still got Trump. This is going to be Trump's campaign in New Hampshire for the next week. Ted Cruz stole Iowa. That's going to be the big thing. And the other question is, if everybody in the big picture, what you always hear when we talk about Iowa is, it doesn't mean anything anyway because nobody ever wins the nomination and wins Iowa. Well, why now is it all of a sudden a big thing? You know, if Iowa doesn't mean anything, well, one, why do we even bother with it? And two, why is it a big deal now? You know, well, you can't have it both ways. Either Iowa's a big deal or it's not. You know, and so this spin machine that just keeps generating things out there, just trying to get more hatred going. Cruz is in the crosshairs again, of course, by the media out there. They're trying to. CNN is out there today trying to make a big deal about his mailer that he sent out, or his statement that Ben Carson was going to drop out of the race, and somehow they think that must have really hurt Ben Carson.
That's really hilarious. As CNN started the whole thing,
I thought he was going to finish.
That's really hilarious. That's just hilarious, John, that CNN would do that because CNN started the whole thing. They're the ones that tweeted it out there that Carson was going to disappear. You know whose fault this all is? It lies at the feet of Ben Carson himself. Why do you make a statement that you are leaving town and you're not going to go to the next campaign site where they're going to have the next primary? Why do you make that statement? Why do you put that out there? What are people supposed to believe, Ben, you idiot?
Yeah, well, I remember reading headlines that he had suspended his campaign due to an auto accident that killed some of the people on his staff or something.
That's correct. He did do that. That was earlier in the month. It was earlier in the month. Earlier or last month, actually.
At that point, I
but
thought
it was for a very specific amount of time.
Yes.
He said it was for a specific amount of time. This time was not that, and it was just I'm going home first.
Yeah.
That's all it was. I'm going home first. Instead of going straight to these other places, I'm going home first. Not that big a deal. CNN had a tweet that was, yes, ambiguous. But I'll tell you what, if I had heard it, and I heard this, I would check always before making an issue out of it with my campaign.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's where I thought, you just don't do it. You just don't. And look at how he's being made to pay, and he was right to apologize.
Yeah.
Boom, done.
Yeah.
But the Trump piece, you called him having thin skin. It's not only thin, it's so much worse than that. It's a thin skin over a vicious personality.
Yeah.
And not only vicious, but someone who has never, ever, ever taken responsibility or held himself accountable for anything he's done. You would think someone I have no issue with people filing bankruptcy. Sometimes it's what you have to do.
Karen?
You learn from that.
Karen?
To have two.
Karen?
Yes.
We're going to have to... You hold on to that thought, but we're going to have to...
No!
Yes, hold on to it. You can do this. Come on, sorry, Karen, but we got to go. We're at the top of the hour. We got to do an Everest Notebook.
I have self-control, unlike Mr. Donald Trump. So you just go right ahead, do what you have to do. I'll be sitting here just hanging on to my little rage here. Go on.
Thank you, dear. You're wonderful. You are wonderful. So, folks, we are at the top of the hour. Edward's Notebook, top of the hour stuff, and we'll be back. And Karen will explain the rest of what she's got going on. So please stay with us. We'll be right back.
One of the major roles of government is to protect us from enemies both foreign and domestic. But now we need protection from federal government decisions. Hello, I'm Ron Edwards. On today's page from the Edwards Notebook, the Obama administration has positioned itself as a detriment to U.S. sovereignty and the physical safety of we the people. On one hand, despite a preponderance of evidence to the contrary, Obama has blamed gun ownership as a reason why people ranging from Muslims, illegal immigrants, and street thugs seek to kill or rob unarmed sovereign citizens. The president and other gun grabbers also ignore the fact that very few crimes against humanity are committed by law-abiding gun owners. To add insult to injury, Mr. Obama is trying to close Gitmo and has been releasing Islamic terrorists, most of whom go right back to their murderous ways of blowing up people, beheading others, abusing women and animals, as if that's not enough.
And the nice Muslim and the bad Muslim and the good Muslim and the middle Muslim and the high Muslim and the low Muslim and the Islam. I'm sick of it all!
Obama's fixation on fundamentally changing America with legions of illegal immigrants crossing into our republic poses yet another clear and present danger to America. I'm Ron Edwards.
Blowing away the myths and revealing the truth. You can continue to blow away the myths with Ron Edwards on Facebook, Twitter, and theronedwards.com.
Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live, daily, Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you'll get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decision concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Hey, all you can do is just tell the truth and trust in the American people that over time they're going to know what the truth is.
Yes, it is time for the truth. Right here, right now. This is the Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives. With your host, John Matthews.
The latter-day prophet. Baying against the hypocrisies of our time.
And Joe Akos.
You want answers! I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
The Conservative Syndicate is comprised of some of the most informed pundits and activists available today. Together, we seek to tear down the imaginary wall, a separation between church and state through education, information, and engagement on the religion of politics and the politics of religion. And now, your host on the globally syndicated Conservative Syndicate, John Matthews and Joe Akos.
Welcome back. I was almost going to just leave this here and let John come and bring us back in from the break, but I figured I probably better do it. He might not be prepared for it. So we are again here. John Matthews is here with us. Karen Sigmund is here with us, and we were talking. I hope everybody got something decent out of the first hour. This is the second hour, and we were talking about Donald Trump and his thin skin and how we should probably use it and make a shoe line out of it. But Karen had some other interesting thoughts that's probably more lucid than mine.
Oh, I don't know. Really, it just, what I was saying was that he has never taken responsibility for his actions, and he has no accountability towards anybody. Everything is a matter of blaming somebody else. And I even had this on my Facebook page that night. Who is he going to blame for his loss? Was it going to be the people of Iowa? Was it going to be Fox News generally or Megyn Kelly specifically? Was it going to be the GOP just hasn't been fair? Because we knew he's incapable of looking to himself. Okay, I take that back. He did say that possibly not being in the debate might have hurt him. But then he immediately said, but I would do it the same again because I helped raise $6 million for the veterans, which also makes my head explode because he could have done it the night before or any time over the last many years or written out a check. His little shenanigans with the veterans was so disgusting. I'm all for the veterans, but we know it had nothing to do with the veterans. This was Trump saying, I'm taking my ball and going home. Screw you, Fox. Screw you, Megyn Kelly. Watch your numbers go down, which they didn't.
Nope.
I'm not playing with you because I can't control you. And Fox said, you go right ahead. So using the veterans as pawns, I find so repugnant. Everything is really, it's so out of the Democrats' playbooks. Everybody is a tool. Everybody is a pawn for your own power play. Nothing to do with recognizing and respecting the voters of America. And Cruz had nailed this, I thought, perfectly when he talked about Donald. It's not about you, Donald. These debates are to give the American people the best information they have about who we are. And, of course, we know why Donald didn't participate, because the less known about him, the better. After 7 debates or whatever, at a certain point, he's going to have to answer some real questions, and he was not ready. Plus, imagine the collage of video, right, they did for Rubio and Cruz. The one that they put together for Trump would have been outrageous.
That's the one I want to see. I want to see that video.
Yes, and to me, I think his participating in the debate would have actually hurt him, which is, of course, why he didn't participate. I don't think his not participating hurt. I think his participating would have hurt. That would have come at a much greater cost. So, again, he just has everything completely backwards. It's all about all eyes on me. All his little Twitter, what do they call them, Trumper tantrums, which is brilliant. It's a 2-year-old. We are watching a 2-year-old gazillionaire take control of our airwaves and our political system. And it's unbelievable. But again, as with Obama, he can only do the damage that we let him.
Yeah.
If as with a 2-year-old, if you keep playing their game, you're only encouraging them. It's when you turn your back and say, I'm not paying attention to you anymore, that they learn.
So, John...
And we're not doing it. We're feeding the monster.
So, John, do you hear what Karen's saying? That sounds like she was a writer for me here recently.
Well, I just... there's a part of me, I'll tell you where I'm at right now. I guess that's the only way I can really comment on what's going on. Just what I'm feeling right now is this is taking on Saturday Night Live aura. It's kind of like I keep waiting for either Will Ferrell to break out as George Bush and say, blame me for what's going on, or or Tina Fey jumping out there, or somebody. I'll tell you what, listening to Hillary Clinton the other night give her speech at the caucus, I thought that would be, I mean, if Saturday Night Live doesn't do something with that, then they, it's right. Then they've missed it, because I kept waiting for somebody to throw a bucket of water on her and watch her melt. That's how weird it was.
Yeah, she was unhinged. Hey, Karen, we're coming up to the time you said you were going to have to go ahead and fly away.
I do. I have to go. I have parent-teacher conferences, as a matter of fact. But before I go, I just want to tell you the statistics problem I gave my students yesterday morning.
Oh.
I didn't tell them where this came from, but I walked through for them to find the probability of winning 6 out of 6 coin tosses. And then I asked them, any idea where the scenario came from? They had no idea. And then I explained it to them. I said, you just proved mathematically how unlikely that was. I'm not saying anything, but do you really think this left to chance this is how it would have been? And it was like a 1.7% probability. No. So this is what I do. It's math.
That's awesome. That is awesome, Karen. Hey, tell the folks how to get to your other stuff that you do.
I love my days. I have such a great time. Yes, find me, rageagainstthemedia.org, and find me on Facebook, Karen Sigmund, and Rage Against the Media, our Facebook page, and follow us on Twitter at Media Rage. We're heating things up.
Okay.
So
they're after you. They're after
it's
you.
all about the media, isn't it? It's all about the media. If the media just took the mic away from that guy, he'd go away.
Oh my, Karen, thanks for stopping by and helping out
My
today.
My pleasure.
That was awesome.
Great talking to you both.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Karen. Bye. All right, John, Karen, that was awesome, man. She was kicking it. That was really something else. Especially this, her lining up so the siren could come on there at the end there, like they were chasing her. That was just awesome. Great timing on her part.
Well, she, I tuned in when I came in. I turned on the show from the website. Okay. One just to see where you're at and everything else. And I'm listening to this woman. I'm going, who's this angry white woman? Because Karen's voice coming in through the website. I'm used to listening this through my board.
Yes. And
to hear it on the website, her voice sounds different, quite different than. And so I'm like, wow, where did he pick this one up? Boy, she's a hot one,
No, I got a hold. I asked her if she had any time, and she said she could make some time. So I was like, okay, cool. And I figured she'd have something to say about the caucus, and especially the speeches and whatever. So it was good. I really appreciate her doing that for us tonight. That was awesome. So it looks like we're coming up on this is our short break time, and then we can come back and then we can figure out see what you had in mind. I got a couple other things, but we can run. You might have had something here that you have in mind, especially that you've seen today. So, and seeing as how I'm running the board, which is crazy for me to be doing, I'm just madness here, John. So all right. So we're gonna have to go take a break here. Joe Hayco's John Matthews, the Mad Prophet, is here in the house, and he's with us. So we're gonna take a couple commercial breaks here. We'll be right back after this, and then we'll get into see what John's got on his mind. So stick around, folks. We'll be right back.
You can catch all our archives at theconservativesyndicate.net. The Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives.
Term life insurance. It can be a powerful way to protect your assets and your family. You work hard to earn and save your money to build a nest egg for the future. Don't let it get wiped out because you didn't plan ahead. Take the time now and make a small investment in $500,000 or more in quality term life insurance. Call the Term Lifeline and let us shop the best companies to give you the lowest rates. We specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. Ask about some of our 10 and 20-year fixed rate plans with guaranteed rates. Call the Term Lifeline right now for your free insurance quote. 800-870-3609. 800-870-3609. You owe it to yourself to protect your family and your assets. Make term life insurance part of that plan. Call the Term Lifeline right now. 800-870-3609. 800-870-3609.
Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live, daily, Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you'll get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decision concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did. You can catch all our archives at theconservativesyndicate.net. The Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives.
Prices are for base buildings only. May not be available in some areas. Attention business owners, do you want a stimulus package that really works? Before you spend thousands of dollars more than you should on your next building project, listen to this. General Steel has a stimulus package designed to help you save as much as half the cost of conventional construction on your next building. As much as half. That's right, General Steel can save you thousands of dollars with a pre-engineered steel building designed for your business or church. How about a 50 by 100 foot building for under $30,000? So don't pay thousands more than you should without calling General Steel first and save as much as half the cost and time of conventional construction. With the projected demand for steel in Japan and China, prices may be skyrocketing.
877-927-3360. 877-927-3360. 877-927-3360.
Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live, daily, Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you'll get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decision concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
And this is the Conservative Syndicate. I'm Joe Hakos. I'm running things tonight. John is he's just relaxing. I don't know what John thinks he's doing. He's out relaxing. He's probably kicking his feet up, drinking one of those drinks with the little umbrella in it, probably. But I'm glad he's here. He got through his chores that he had to get done today, and he's made it to the show. Thankfully so. Hey, Kay, John. So you what's on your brain that you've had all day? You hadn't had to worry about anything going on, so you've been just chilling out, hanging out.
Oh, well, like I said, sitting in a doctor's office allows you a little bit of free time.
Yeah, that's built. I think that's built in.
Yeah, well, it's either that or watch The View, because that's what most doctor's offices have on their TV. A lot of liberal TV programming when you're sitting in a doctor's office. So I just, went through my. I've been working on an outline for some stuff. I'm working on a book, and I thought, well, I'll take some time and work on my outline a little bit and stuff. And so I just thought, well, you know what? On my phone, my Facebook was just lit up with all types of posts and everything. So I started going through them, and it's amazing. There's basically three threads out there right now. One is that of course the Trump thread, which is that Ted Cruz stole the election.
Yes, he's a fraud.
Yeah, he stole the caucus. The other thread out there right now is that Bernie Sanders is going to just schlong Hillary Clinton before the thing's over. And then the other one is...
a Trumpian phrase.
And then the other one is, of course, what's going on with Rand Paul and Rick Santorum. They dropped out today.
Yes, they did.
So those were the main three threads that are out there. The ones with I was really kind of I'm going to say a little bit impressed with how people handled Rand Paul and Rick Santorum exiting the primary. I didn't hear too much in terms of disrespect or taking cheap shots or anything. Most people seem to agree that they're men of integrity. They just either didn't have the campaign or they just don't have what it takes, to take it to that next level. And this is something that I felt very strongly about. I feel that we have 4 or 5 candidates right now that I find to be people of great integrity.
Yeah.
People that if I was president, I would want working for me. I would put these people on my staff. There's no doubt in my mind that Rand Paul would make a great Treasury Secretary. Ben Carson in charge of Health and Human Services would be outstanding. Chris Christie as an Attorney General, I think, would be great. You know, they're not presidential material to me, but these are hardcore people that know how to do what it is they say they can do. Now, I don't like their politics, none of them. You know, Ben Carson, I respect as a man and a human being, and I think he's a great guy. I just think he's not quite ready to really get into the political scene.
That was proven out on Monday with this. He didn't have to do anything that he did. If he would just not have done that, there would have been no flack or flap about a tweet here and then a tweet there, and then all of a sudden Ben's like, "What's going on?" Hey, Ben.
I think, this is something that I think, and I think Cruz has fallen guilty to it a few times too, where you let your handlers tell you how to handle something when your gut check should be, we ought to leave it alone.
Yeah.
And I think Ben Carson was probably pushed by somebody in his campaign to say, hey, here we got an in here. We can because, you know, let's be realistic. Let's look at what the numbers were going into the caucus. And you think, Ben, that by accusing Ted Cruz of doing something underhanded, that you're going to pick up all of a sudden 10 to 12 points and catch up with everybody? That's not. You did more discredit to yourself than just letting it go. It should just let it go. There wasn't any reason to do that. And so but that's what I mean. I don't think I just don't think he's politically savvy enough to be able to do what has to be done sometimes and be able to think in your feet, which I think is sometimes Ted Cruz's problem. I think he listens too much to his writers. Somebody's writing them jokes, not understanding that this guy doesn't know how to tell jokes.
And he doesn't, and shouldn't be telling jokes.
No, and you know, and you're trying on one hand to tell us you're not going to get involved in the bickering and the infighting, but you're taking your little cheap shots in the form of humor. You know, it's like, let the stuff go. We all know what Trump is. We know he's a clown. We know he's a snake oil salesman. So everything should be taken in that vein, and just say, you know what, that's Trump. If I was in his position and somebody, well, Trump said this about you, Trump said, well, that's Trump, you know, so what? This isn't about Trump. You know, that would be the proper response. And I watched last night, just for a few minutes, I watched Megyn Kelly, I believe who she was interviewing. She was interviewing Marco Rubio. And she tried again to do this pit people against people. She's like, well, I forget what the question was, but it was specifically geared towards taking a shot at Cruz. And Rubio, you know, he really, I have to his credit, he kind of sidestepped it. He's like, you know what, that's not what this is about. You know, this is about stopping Hillary Clinton. See, he took it and he changed it right back. And this is about stopping Hillary Clinton. And she's like, well, you know, he said, she asked him, she says, well, you were really polished in the debate the other night. You know, polished. And he went, I'm just telling you what I believe. You know, he said, I'm not, you know, she was kind of like, I guess, insinuating that he was practiced and rehearsed. And he said, no, I'm just talking the way I believe. He said, why would I do anything else? See, whether or not he actually thinks that way, the response is appropriate and it's accurate and it kills the argument right away. And that's sometimes I think these guys get away from that. Everybody should, anything that Trump says from this point on should just be laughed at and, you know, give him the Hillary Clinton laugh.
No.
Because there's nothing anymore. I see what I did was I put a post out there this morning on Facebook. I said, you know, after Cruz after Trump accused Cruz of stealing the election, I said, you know, I've been trying real hard to be civil about this guy and understanding that he has brought something to the narrative. Maybe not the way that we would want it or maybe the way that we would do it, but he has brought something very plausible to the narrative, and that is government's broken. And, you know, that part of who he is and what he's done is commendable. But from this point on, this guy's Mr. Asshat to me. I have no more respect for him at all, and I will not treat him with any respect or anybody that supports him with any respect, because if you guys still think that this is the man that's going to lead this country, then you really need to maybe see a shrink. Because this guy is not the answer. This guy, as far as the thin skin, I think he's worse than Obama. At least Obama can maintain the appearance that he's not bugged, that you're not getting under his skin. Trump, this isn't the guy. This is not the guy we want standing up in front of the country on a regular basis. Or standing up can you imagine what a State of the Union message would sound like from this guy?
Aren't we great? Are you tired of losing? Are you tired of winning, people? America, Are you tired of? Aren't we great? I've made you great again, America. We have a wall that has Trump on the outside of it.
Yeah, well, you know what it'd be like? It would be like watching a Don Rickles stand-up routine.
Oh, one of the roasts.
Yeah, he would be up there all the time. Yeah, well, we got the Speaker of the House back here, Paul. Boehner's love child, that kind of stuff.
I mean,
it would be a joke.
Yes, and that's the problem. These people aren't critically thinking about what the responsibility the next president will have. He's going to have a big responsibility. Besides pulling this economy out of the dirt where Obama's going to leave it, it's going to be down in the mud again. We're also, again, I keep coming back to Supreme Court nominees.
Yeah.
That's generational. That's going to be until you and I will be dead.
Yeah.
And we'll still have to live with it.
What type of reason would Donald Trump use to pick his Supreme Court justices? I can't even imagine how he would even be able to reason that out. And, it's because you're talking about probably, I believe, and I think it was set up this way, constitutionally, the judicial branch is probably the most important branch in the government because that is supposed to keep everybody else in check. And the idea that we're getting, with what we've got on there now, and what if Donald Trump appoints his next trophy wife as a Supreme Court justice? I don't. People think, well, that's extreme, that's stupid. No, it isn't. Nothing is out of the realm of possibility now. Obama broke all the rules. He has set a new precedent as to what it means to be in the White House. And now anything's game. Anything is possible because Congress doesn't want to do anything,
Well, and that doesn't make it right if the other guy gets to do it. If another guy goes in there with an R behind his name, that doesn't make it any more right. That's bullcrap. That's not how we were founded. That's not how this system of government is supposed to be set up. There's supposed to be checks and balances. There's supposed to be dialogue. There's supposed to be acrimony. There's supposed to be, hey, we're not getting along. There's supposed to be a battle between this party and that party across the aisle. There's not supposed to be 100% compromise.
Right, and instead of fighting your wars out there on Twitter, you should be in front of your constituents explaining what's going on. The big problem is that nobody in Congress wants to, and in the White House for that matter, wants to tell their constituents what is going on. They don't want to tell you how the system works because that would just expose them for what they are.
Hey, I wanted to check this out. There's some of the post caucus polls, right? They were exit polls, entrance polls, that kind of stuff. Well, we have a couple minutes here. And here's decided whom to support just today, the day of the caucus. Trump 15%, Cruz 22%, Rubio 28%. Okay, in the last few days, Trump 13%, Cruz 27%, Rubio 31%. In the sometime last week, and that would have been when the debate happened, right? Mm-hmm. Trump 13%, Cruz 36%. And Rubio was 27%. And the other guys, I mean, Kasich, here, I'll get to that in a second. In the last month, Trump, 23%, Cruz, 32%, Rubio, 27%. Before that, in other words, Trump, 39%. Those loyal followers, 39%. Cruz, 26%. Rubio, 13%. And the other ones are down there in like 5%. Rand Paul had 5%, which was proven out in the vote totals. But Kasich doesn't even get a percentage point.
Yeah. I think, if anything, if we have learned anything to this point, what the experts tell us and what the polls tell us means absolutely nothing.
Well, here's the other thing, John, and here's what's wrong. They said Donald Trump has got this going on and everything else. Contacted about supported candidate. Yes, was contacted. And this was 36% of the voters. Trump, 23%. Cruz, 31%. No. Trump, 25%. 82% or 62% of the voters. Cruz, 26%. It just proves that Cruz did it the old-fashioned way. He went out and earned it.
Yeah, he did. He did. And in my mind, Trump has the numbers right now to keep himself in the conversation. But I think this is beyond a shadow of a doubt. This has come down to the Cuban twins. This is going to be Cruz or Rubio.
Yeah, I think so too. All right, John, we're at the bottom of the hour. We got to do our dryer sheet now, and then come on back and have some more fun with this. So I'm going to go ahead and crank her up, John. Here we go.
Hello, humans. Time to open the brain and remove all that static cling. It's time to insert a dryer sheet. Well, 2016 is upon us, and America is in full-blown presidential election mode. And there is one thing that the media says is different this time around, that being Donald Trump. But is he really different? The billionaire real estate mogul from New York City, they say, is an outsider, not a politician. But is that really an apt description of the mouth that is roaring? I think not. While Donald Trump might not have been elected to public office, he certainly knows what it takes to be in public office. You don't just vote, you buy your public official, which he has stated quite proudly over and over at his overbooked campaign events. The mouth of New York City has gleefully told us of his exploits of being able to donate to political campaigns. He tells America that it's all part of doing business. Well, that may be, but it is who he has bought favors from that should be a point of contention with the base of the Republican Party, of which he is trying to garner the presidential nomination from during this primary election season. He has donated to such conservative Republican stalwarts like Hillary Clinton, Harry Reid in Nevada, Charlie Rangel of New York. And when that becomes too much effort, the Donald buys a committee such as the Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee. Oh, wait, did I say conservative causes and candidates? Oh, I'm sorry, but my memory serves me correctly. None of these great people and causes are even close to being conservatives. That is strange. Wow, to hear the New York City mouth now, you think he's been on the side of the Republican base for decades, when in reality, he's been actively fighting against Republican base for years. Makes one wonder what has changed. Has the base of the Republican Party changed? Does it believe that making deals with the likes of Nancy Pelosi, Harry Reid, and Charles Schumer is the way to make America great again?
Well, I think that I'm going to be able to get along with Pelosi. I think I'm going to be able to. I've always had a good relationship with Nancy Pelosi. I've never had a problem. Reid's going to be gone. I always had a decent relationship with Reid, although lately, obviously, I haven't been dealing with him, so he'll actually use my name as the ultimate, as the ultimate of the billionaires in terms of, people you don't want. But I always had a great relationship with Harry Reid. And frankly, if I weren't running for office, I'd be able to deal with her. I'd be able to deal with Reid. I'd be able to deal with anybody. But I think I'd be able to get along very well with Nancy Pelosi and just about everybody. Hey, look, I think I'll be able to get along well with Schumer, Chuck Schumer. I was always very good with Schumer. I was close to Schumer in many ways.
I don't think so. While in 2010, 2012, and 2014, Republicans were overwhelmingly elected to go to their respective seats of office, many replacing Democratic officials. Donald Trump was buying influence and working against the base of the Republican Party. It would seem that the Trump money failed for the most part, as Republicans gained more legislative seats than in any time in modern history. Yet, there are those, despite claiming to be of the conservative persuasion, are full-throatedly supporting the mouth because he can win. The man has made this election about himself. Every twist and turn of his campaign is about him. He boycotts a debate because he said he was treated unfairly. He is going to get Mexico to pay for a border wall. He is going to make the Chinese trade fairly with America. Me. Well, folks, listen up. This election isn't about Donald Trump or any of the candidates running for the presidency. This is about the people of Iowa, the people of New Hampshire. Most importantly, it's about you and me and your neighbor down the street and next door. This election is about all the people of the United States making deals, buying political hacks, and whining when some media type offends you, and then running down the street to use our nation's military veterans as props is not leadership. We have a self-absorbed narcissist in the White House now. Each and every day, I've heard conservative base of the Republican Party scream from the mountaintop that this nation is without leadership. Well, putting another self-absorbed narcissist named Donald Trump in the White House will not provide the leadership this nation so desperately desires. Are we so inept in reasoning that we will allow a man who has made no secret about who he is enter the White House and be allowed to operate the office of president in the same fashion as Barack Obama? But that would be okay because he has an R after his name? We can do better than this, America. We have to if we truly are to make America great again. Well, this dryer sheet is used up. Till next time, stay static free.
Well, we pulled that dryer sheet out of the dryer. You're going to toss that one into the proverbial trash bin because it's all used up. And here, Joe Haco's here on the Conservative Syndicate with John Matthews, the mad prophet of the airwaves. And we were talking about the Iowa caucuses and Mr. Trump. And John has lost... according to John now, John has no more love for Donald, and so Donald's dead at his eyes. He's no more. He sleeps with the fishes now, and so Donald's not going to get John's support anymore.
Nope, I've officially, as of today, an official Trump basher.
So that's Jeb and Donnie, and the official will be bashed by John Matthews.
Yeah. Yep, that's right. That's right. I with Jeb exclamation point Bush is irrelevant. We'll see. He might pick up half a percentage point in the next caucus because Rand Paul and Rick Santorum are out. But other than that, that's yesterday's news. Let's get to the good stuff. I hate Trump. I don't hate him. I hate what he stands for. I hate what he's doing. I hate the way he's playing us. And playing those people out there who are legitimately frustrated with what's going on and want to stop this, stop the bleeding, get this thing headed back on the right course. This is not the man, and I no longer have any sympathy for you if you can sit here and watch what just has taken place in the last 48 hours since this caucus and still think that this is the guy that has his act together. I'm sorry. You just join the liberal crowd with me. Send me an email at John, Jon, at theconservativesyndicate.net, and I'll send you a free box of crayons, and you can join all the liberals. That's where I'm at here. No more Mr. Nice Guy with this. This is stupid. This is just beyond stupid.
We got to keep you out of the doctor's offices because you came out all fiery here. It's like that's it. John is locked and loaded. He's ready to go.
Yeah, don't lock me in a room where I have really time to digest what I'm thinking, because then you really got a problem.
Oh, hey, you said while we were listening to the dryer sheet there, you said you had something you wanted to bring up about Mr. Bearded Wonder Paul Ryan.
Yeah, this is kind of the fringe benefits of being the Speaker of the House right now. Is that nobody's paying attention to you because of everything else that's going on. The same with Barack Obama. And
who went to a mosque today. Yeah.
We cannot forget what's going on here. we have a new speaker, and this new speaker has pledged to listen to the conservative element of the Republican Party.
Freedom Caucus.
Yeah, he is committed to not being the same old thing, the same old way. He's going to bring everybody together, and he's going to, we're going to hash this stuff out, and we're going to begin the process of bringing small government back into the picture, into the reality that our Republican platform so adamantly lays out for us. That's the Paul Ryan message. And lo and behold, he gets together today with the Freedom Caucus. And I believe it was yesterday. Yesterday he gets together with the Freedom Caucus, has a lunch with them, very casual, soft drinks and junk food, stuff like that. And lo and behold, what does he do? He tries to tell the people in the Freedom Caucus that, there's not a whole lot we can do about this budget that we just passed. Now they got to talk about funding it. They've passed the budget. Now they got to talk about funding it. And he's saying, as long as we've got this Democrat in the White House, there's not a whole lot we can do here. So let's just jump on board and pass this thing, and we'll deal with it again later if we finally get the White House. Okay, and so I'm reading this. I'm looking at the transcripts of what he's saying and how he addressed it, and the response of some of the people in the Freedom Caucus. I think, and the first thing that came to my mind was, I wonder if Boehner left him his notes, because it sounded exactly like John Boehner. And Mitch McConnell. We have a Democrat in the White House. We can't do anything about this.
We can't possibly win.
He's telling them, right now we can't do anything. Now, I tell you what, my first gut check is, outside of, first of all, wanting to up Chuck and saying, oh, God, here we go, all over again. It's the same story. And then like I said, sit in the doctor's office, you get a moment to sit back and reflect. Let's put some logic and reason behind this. We are 11 months away from replacing the president.
Actually, we're 11 months. 11 months. Yeah, because it'd be January 20th or something.
Not counting January, which is a nothing month because that's moving furniture in and out. But as of November and the end of December, the president, we know who's going to sit in the White House in January of next year.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about this, and I'm going, okay, well, a couple of things here. What if you don't win the election in November?
Oh my goodness!
What if you don't? Yeah, what if you don't?
Yeah.
What if you don't? What happens if we get a Democrat in the White House? What are you going to say then? Are you going to tell me the same thing? Are you going to say to me, well, because we have a Democrat in the White House now for another 4 years we can't do anything?
Absolutely. Actually, it'd be even worse.
Yeah, because they certainly can't reverse and say, well, now that we have a woman in the White House, we can get it done.
We'd be so sexist if we say no to her.
So I'm sitting then the logic kicks in.
Uh-oh.
The logic kicks in, and I go, well, you've got less than a year that this guy's going to be in office. Have you not given any thought to perhaps putting together what you're going to do should you get a Republican in the White House?
Oh, my.
Have you not given any thought to what you could do if Obama is a lame duck, as you're saying? If he, as we know him to be, he's got less than a year in the White House. What damage could he do right now if you just resisted every single thing this guy did? What's the worst that's going to happen? Are they going to call you a hater? They're doing that already.
Yeah.
They're going to call you a racist? They're doing that already.
They're going to call you obstructionist?
Yeah, they're going to call you an extremist. They're going to call you a wacko. They're going to call you an idiot. They're already doing that. So why are you still sitting here on this? We can't do anything because we have a Democrat in the White House.
Oh, because
why don't you do this?
I know why.
Now, in the end of the year, present what you're going to do.
Oh, I know why, John.
We got 1 year, less than a year for this president. This is what we're going to do if you give us a Republican, a real Republican. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. Give it as talking points to the candidates out there. Hey, this is what we will do with you if you get elected. You go out and tell your people, if you elect me, Congress has agreed to do this with me. Why are you not laying out your strategy? Are you guys so locked into we got a deadline? We got a date. Do you have to always wait to the deadline to do something?
Oh, well, what's exactly he said he wasn't going to do?
Well, we hit the deadline. We can't shut the government down. For crying out loud, the best thing you could do for America right now is shut down this damn government. Yeah. And you would be doing this tremendous amount of a favor to shut the government down right now. And just, hey, take your break now. Come back in November. Don't do anything, and don't let Obama do anything. Just let's stop it all. But it would seem to me good leaders plan ahead. And good leaders would be saying, well, less than a month from now, we're hoping we have a Republican in the White House. But what are they doing? The Congress is not interested in who the president's going to be. They're all worried about who's going to lose the Senate seats.
Yeah, they're all worried about their own seats as well.
Yeah, and even more so the Senate. Karl Rove gave it away when he said, we're not putting any money into the presidential race. We're trying to preserve a majority in the Senate.
Absolutely.
So what? So you have a majority. So what?
You haven't done anything with it. You know why they don't do what they need to do, John? Because that would be the difficult thing to do. That would be difficult to do. You'd have to actually work at that. You could sit on your hands and say, oh, we can't do nothing because Obama's in office. And that's really easy to do because they've done it for the last 7 years.
Yeah. Mo Brooks over in Alabama. I'll cut this off here real quick because I know you got to go to break here.
Yeah.
Mo Brooks of Alabama said it best. There's a snowball's chance in hell that I'm going to vote for Paul Ryan's budget. That's what should be being said across the board.
Now,
Paul Ryan needs to be getting out there. You know what? There's a snowball's chance in hell Obama's going to get money to fund Planned Parenthood.
Amen.
And let it go. Let it ride it out because less than a year from now, who cares?
Amen to that.
Gone.
All right, let's pay some bills, John.
There's no thinking going on here in Congress. So I'm not so sure if we could put Jesus Christ in the White House, and I don't know if we'd get anything done.
Oh. Okay, John, let's pay some bills, okay? We're going to pay some bills, folks. Joe Hakos, John Matthews, we're going to let him cool off a little bit. We'll come back in a couple of minutes after we pay bills, and we'll be right back on the Conservative Syndicate. Please stick around. We'll be right back.
You can catch all our archives at theconservativesyndicate.net. The Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-790-5960. That's 1-800-790-5960. Again, 1-800-790-5960. Call now.
Prices are for base buildings only. May not be available in some areas. Attention business owners, do you want a stimulus package that really works? Before you spend thousands of dollars more than you should on your next building project, listen to this. General Steel has a stimulus package designed to help you save as much as half the cost of conventional construction on your next building. As much as half. That's right, General Steel can save you thousands of dollars with a pre-engineered steel building designed for your business or church. How about a 50 by 100 foot building for under $30,000? So don't pay thousands more than you should without calling General Steel first, and save as much as half the cost and time of conventional construction. With the projected demand for steel in Japan and China, prices may be skyrocketing.
877-927-3360. 877-927-3360. 877-927-3360.
Oh, yeah. Okay, we'll see how John's doing. See if he's See if he's calmed down a little bit. I fully agree with him and Paul Ryan and those loser establishment, political class establishment Republicans who don't want to do anything to get them out of their own little comfort zone of saying, "Oh, gee, Barack, you win. We give up." And Harry Reid, who is, I don't get it. And that's the reason why people are angry. It's the reason why a lot of people have picked up on Trump. But I don't think Trump is going to be the answer because, well, Trump, they call him an outsider, but he's far from an outsider. He's actually an insider because he's been buying politicians for decades now. And as we heard on the sheet, he can get along with Nancy and Harry and Chucky, and he can get along with them just fine, and he can make all kind of deals with them. And I don't believe that conservatives want to deal with Planned Parenthood. You know what? If Planned Parenthood wants to be an organization, they should be an organization on their own without any federal dollars, any of our taxpayers' dollars going towards them, and just have a good time. You want to sell baby parts, which is illegal, yeah, go ahead. But don't be doing it with our federal dollars. Don't be doing it with my tax dollar. Anyway, see, John's getting me going now. So, oh, my.
Well, I just, this whole issue of sitting here it's like it's just been so repetitive.
Yeah.
That I think these people, you know what it is? I really think that Congress, in its own way, is just as frustrated as everybody else. But the problem is that
leadership.
They will not either they will not or they cannot recognize that they are the creator of the problem. I'm listening to Paul Ryan.
It's leadership.
He's telling the Freedom Caucus out there that the problems with the American economy right now is laid squarely at the feet of Barack Obama. It is his fault. Everything that's wrong with the country is his fault.
Really?
Yeah. Well, he said that. He said everything can be laid at the feet of Barack Obama. And I'm thinking, when did you guys relegate your authority to Barack Obama? When did it become his fault when you have to vote? First of all, why is it you've never put this man's feet to the fire about even producing a budget, much less talking about passing one? 6 to 7 years? This guy, you never forced this guy to submit a budget?
Yeah, we're always under continuing resolution.
Right, where everything's being run on credit cards and promises and IOUs.
Yep.
And I'm like, what happened to the balance of powers here? Barack Obama isn't the problem here. You guys could have stopped anything he wanted once you got the majority that you said you needed.
Yep.
Now you're going to try to tell me it's because he's still sitting in the Oval Office that you can't get anything done? I mean, if nothing else, you should be out campaigning for what you're going to do. That's the big thing with me. Why are they just sitting around idle to wait and see who gets elected?
Yeah,
that's basically what they're saying.
Yeah.
Let's see who gets in the White House this year. Let's see who gets elected, and then we'll be able to stop everything. We'll be able to, we'll get that Republican in and it's going to do, right. You get a John Kasich, a Jeb Bush, or even maybe Marco Rubio in there, and it's going to be George Bush Jr. on steroids. It's going to be like, let's just do more. Let's do more. Every single moderate rhino establishment candidate that I've listened to isn't let's shrink government, it's let's do government in a different way.
That's funny. I love how you put that out there. The exit polling out of Iowa, by ideology, how do they consider 40% of the voters very conservative? Donald Trump, 21%. Ted Cruz, 44%. Conservatives went out and won that election for Ted Cruz, or that caucus for Ted Cruz. Somewhat conservative, 45% of the voters. 25% Trump, 19% Cruz, somewhat conservative. 29% for Rubio. Whoa, that's a very telling little stat right there. Now, 14% of the electorate who responded to this, 14% moderate. Guess who was the big moderate winner? Donald Trump.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Donald Trump. Cruz, 9% moderate. Oh. And then guess who came in second here? Marco Rubio. That's right. The moderates. So who is a moderate one here? That's the Trumpster and your Rubio. Those are the moderate ones. And that's why the establishment, I don't give a crap what Rush Limbaugh is thinking. Marco Rubio is in the establishment camp right now. And when asked about it, Marco goes, whoever gets the nod, they will want the support of the establishment to unify the party. That's what Marco is saying. Okay, yeah, that's what he's saying. But it was asked, well, aren't you part of that? And he goes, well, if I was the establishment choice, he'd have had more money at the beginning, raised at the beginning. He'd have had more funding at the beginning. But hey, Marco, what about now, buddy? Because Jebby's going to leave. They're going to get behind you. You're going to get all the money you need, Marco. And then what you going to be doing? He is the establishment choice, and he is the moderate candidate, and he is the ruination of the Republican Party if he gets elected. Ted Cruz said it in the first debate. We nominate another moderate Republican, and we will lose the election to a Hillary Clinton.
Well, that was one of the things I was commenting to the liberal faction out there on my social media today. Is that all these claims they're like Trump is a representative. He is the guy that's representing the GOP simply because he's a front runner. And look what you guys have got running at the top of the ticket here. And I'm thinking, well, let's not forget something here. Let's not forget something. Ted Cruz won the caucus, and he won the caucus more with a big enough number, with a record turnout. Now, Trump wants to take credit for that. Trump wants to say the record turnout is because people came out and voted for me. Well, if that was the case, you would have won.
Yeah, hello. You didn't win.
Hey, you didn't win, dude. The record turnout was conservatives. And we've been saying this, that if we can get a conservative out there who can articulate the conservative message and motivate conservatives to get up and vote, Trumpster is going to be relegated to the annals of Ross Perot.
Yeah.
We'll remember this maybe 10, 15 years from now. We'll be talking about it, and we'll say, oh, yeah, remember that election they had Donald Trump up there? That idiot, the guy with the comb over, all this other stuff. And now, boy, he really created something here. But I cannot help but think that what we're looking at right now, and it's going to depend on, again, voter turnout.
Yeah.
The conservatives turn out, Cruz is going to be our nominee. If they don't, it's going to be Rubio. But Trump is gone. I think it's all over but the noise. I just do not see him at this point now going to New Hampshire. He's not going to win New Hampshire. He'll be lucky to finish in the top 3 in New Hampshire. And South Carolina, I don't know. I don't think he's going to win. Maybe Nevada, because they're all idiots out there anyway. But it's not going to be enough. He's dead. He's dead, and I'm going to make sure that I keep telling people that, no matter who they are. I'll probably lose some friends over this one, but so what?
Well, I understand. I mean, they are committed, John. I give them that, but it does. The numbers prove out that yes, Trump is not a conservative. People don't look at him as a conservative. And obviously, the conservative faction is what came out, and good old-fashioned shoe leather is what really won it for Cruz. He went out and met the people. Trump was just doing the helicopter thing, flying in and out. The same thing he's doing in New Hampshire. Same thing he'll do everywhere because that's what he thinks he can do. He thinks it's kind of like TV ratings. Yeah.
Sad thing right now is watching Jeb Bush out there in the campaign trail, asking people to clap for him.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to badmouth. He's not going to get into the trash talk. You're still talking about Trump, dude. Trump is history.
Yeah.
And you're still talking about how you're going to counter him.
Yeah.
You're way behind the game here, dude.
Yeah. And he's got his mommy coming out to help him and everything. And then he's going to bring his brother to South Carolina. Well, John, I'm glad you could show up for the show tonight, brother, but we're going to have to shut this thing down here.
Well, you did a good job, my friend.
Well, I appreciate that. It's fun. I was a little apprehensive at first, but started getting in there with the help of you and Karen. I really appreciate you guys being here, and I really appreciate all our listeners too. So remember, folks, you can always go to our website and get the archives there and share them with your friends. So once again, this is Joe Hakos with John Matthews here in the Conservative Syndicate. We are signing off, and we will see you again tomorrow. Radio Talk here. Yeah, there you go. Love you guys. God bless. Take care.
Thanks for tuning in to this edition of the Conservative Syndicate, the globally syndicated, politically incorrect talk show that seeks to tear down the imaginary wall of separation between church and state. We want to make you aware you can find and access all of our show archives at our website, theconservativesyndicate.net, as well as our broadcast stations and times. That's the conservativesyndicate.net. We so appreciate you taking time to tune in, and we so look forward to continuing to bring you the best and uncompromised talk radio available on the net today. And remember, folks, it doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down in life. It only matters how many times you get up. I'm John Matthews, signing off until next time, right here on the Conservative Syndicate. God bless you, and may God continue to bless America.